Broadcasting live from Houston, from the space city to the world. You are watching Now Media Television.
Hi everybody, welcome back to Unique and Fresh with Jeffrey. I'm super excited to welcome Jessika Leal with JLeal Communications. Jessika, thanks so much for being here today.
Oh my goodness, we just said this. Thank you for having me. I am so excited to be here.
Absolutely. I had the pleasure of meeting Jessika at a chamber event, and I'm so grateful to have her on the show so she could tell you all about what she does. So please go ahead, Jessika.
You know, I run JLeal Communications. My background, radio, television, marketing, PR, just a little bit of everything. And my passion was public schools. So I was working in public schools. I did public school PR at my last job, but I early retired in December to concentrate on this. Okay. And I was telling someone, I could have called it JLeal Relationships, but that's kind of sketchy because that is really what we do. We build relationships with your clients and customers. I mean, we do the traditional public relations, marketing, we do all of that, but we really concentrate on those relationships. So we do a little something different. We do customer service training, really for any industry, but we have specialized in school systems, and we also offer support, administrative support with virtual assistants for small and home businesses. So how you can increase your communication and your time with your customers by having us handle your office work for you. So that is something that's a little different than just a traditional PR marketing firm.
And that's my least favorite part. Is all the office work, scheduling appointments, and all the, the phone calls. I mean, I'm saying I love what I do, obviously.
Right.
But when you're busy, as you get busier and busier, even as a one-man show or a small business, it can become a lot and so forth. So these outsource, so you work with small businesses and so forth, so you kind of have like a more of an affordable model,
right,
for companies like that?
We even have a subscription model for virtual assistants. Like you can try us, contract us for 10 hours a month. Maybe that's what you're going to start out with. And you can use that doing any kind of administrative work, and you pay a subscription fee every month. And if you don't use all your 10 hours, we'll let you carry it over to the next month.
Rolls over.
And so these are for people who maybe want to try it out. COVID kind of taught us what we really need in office space and what we don't need. And for small and home businesses, especially someone running a business out of their home, they don't have the real estate, so to speak. They don't have to make that investment, but we can help them get their support they need to build their business until they can make that investment in hiring someone full time.
Absolutely, and I'm glad you said that. And we did learn a lot in COVID was the fact that we don't need a lot of office space really, and I know it's going to hurt some industries, if you will, that they don't need that much office space, but those co-working spaces are also obviously fantastic also when you can't afford an office space. But we're finding that people can be productive when working at home. I mean, we all still need to get paid, we all still need to pay our bills, so if we're not productive, a company will see it, right? I mean...
Well, what's important for companies to remember is you can't build your business if you're just spending your time on the busy work.
Yes.
Okay, so we say, let us take care of the office work while you take care of business. So if you're spending your valuable time doing the little things that you could hire out for someone to do like us, you don't need a place for them to sit. You're running your home office, you don't have a lot of space, you're barely enough space for yourself, but you're still wanting to work on building your business, we can take away that busy work. And you can concentrate on what's really important.
Which is building your business.
Exactly.
Sales, really.
Exactly.
Sales. I mean, it doesn't matter what industry you're in, the way you build your business is with sales.
I work with a pool builder. I work with a nonprofit in doing their newsletter and managing some of their social media for them. I handle QuickBooks for another person that does remodeling and renovation. So those are on the virtual assistant side. And then I myself do customer service training because that is something, we're talking about it a lot lot lately
Yes.
with the shortage. I saw recently.
I'm from the hospitality business, so quite trust me, I completely understand.
We talked about that.
Yes, we did. Yes.
You know, it's funny because we were in Sedona, my husband and I recently, and there was a sign and it said, the world is short-staffed. Please be kind to the ones that show up.
Yes.
And I was like, oh, that touched my heart. But it also goes on the other side. There are companies that have not invested in customer service training for their employees. So the customer feels a lack of value.
Yeah.
And in the school systems, what I really based it on, because that was my experience, I worked in that kind of environment. You know, we have a shortage of school staff, of teachers and stuff, and sometimes we forget who our customer is. And in the school system, sometimes those working in the inner parts forget that their customer may be staff members. And we never think of that. We always think of serving the students and their parents, which is very important.
Absolutely.
But everybody, no matter what industry you're with, you have a customer. And so I try to get customers or clients to think about that. We have, there is digital customer service. People don't even think about that. You always think about customer service as that person says, hi, welcome, how can I help you? Hi, this is JLeal Communications. But now there's digital customer service. How well are you serving your customer in the digital world? Do you even have a website?
Yeah.
That's number one.
Yeah.
But is it effective? Is it efficient? Is it user-friendly? I have put together a whole pillar on customer service, and it's called customer care. And it's based on 4 pillars: communication, appearance, response, and evaluation. Okay. We can come in and evaluate the service that you're providing and how you're serving your customers, and come up with a plan specific for your industry.
Okay, my goodness, you do a lot. Oh,
I
that's
do.
fantastic. But that is fantastic. So speaking of customers, and it's not just the people who use your service that your customers, and I'm so glad you said this, but it's your employees.
You can change a culture.
That you can change, exactly. And they're your customers just as much. You know, companies say, you know, you hear quite often, oh, I'm struggling to find good people, I'm struggling to find good people. But sometimes, yes, I'm sure you're struggling, but it comes down to how you treat people and how you pay people and so forth, and what your culture is and so forth. Speaking of all of that and your customers, it's also about making sure that your company is welcoming not just to your customers, but to your employees, but folks from the LGBTQ plus, and those when it comes to DEI from marginalized communities. Right. Can you tell me a little bit about what you do to help companies with all that, or what you do as a company to reach out to those communities?
I am a small company, so I don't have to have those policies in place. But the best thing about being a business owner is you can set those standards for people you decide to do business with.
Okay.
You know, we can set that what we support in how businesses treat others and how they treat their employees. And so, yes, when we look at customer service, we're looking at servicing people of all kinds. It doesn't matter. And I really pride myself because I'm in a position where I have walked away from a client because of some of the things that they were doing that I just didn't agree with. That's not the kind of name I wanted. Sure. So I support that community by making sure that the businesses I support them and are accepting and are putting policies into play where they're treating people equally, all of their staff.
Absolutely.
All of their customers, and we're not being selective in our policies.
Absolutely, and it's important to make sure that we educate companies on just the simple things that they can do to make sure that somebody from the LGBTQ plus community feels welcome, somebody from the African American, Hispanic migrant. I mean, I could list every marginalized community that's gone through a lot of things for a long time. I mean, we are obviously, and I've mentioned this in previous shows, we're getting better, we're going to do better, and I have faith in this country that things will just continue to improve, because we will continue to improve, but we have issues, and companies have issues, and part of the hiring, the problem with companies hiring is that they have a reputation.
Right.
Sometimes. Have you worked with any companies to try to help them? And maybe you haven't, but I just thought I'd ask if you've helped any companies improve their reputation.
Well, we will look at, and that's a good point, because there are sometimes they don't realize they're doing it. It's not intentional.
Of course not. That's what DEI is about. And I'm sorry, but that's what it's about, is all of us, including myself, learning how to do better. So
and it's evaluating your processes, and you can have those aha moments. And when you come across clients that are open to that, then you know you're working with someone that gets it.
Yeah.
But when you're working with people that are making excuses for it, or this is the way we've done it all these years, they're not open to that. And that's really where you're cutting yourself off from providing customer service and value to your staff.
Well, a company that says, well, that's the way we've always done it, is a company that is just setting itself up for future failure. It could be tomorrow, or it could be a year from now, it could be 10 years from now. But as the world progresses, and we all do better to make sure that we're treating everybody equally, letting them be who they are, how they are, and present themselves how they are, those are the companies that are going to survive.
Absolutely. You know, I think about this sometimes. I'm like, you know, when we celebrate those first, the first, you know, African-American president, the first, I like to celebrate the 300th when it becomes the norm, that it's not that we have to celebrate the first, it's those that follow. Let's not only have one, let's have several. And, you know, I have companies that are open to that, and that is important. And when they are ready to take a real look and they understand the importance of serving all communities, those are the kind of people that move forward, that are successful, and they are not limiting what they do and how they serve.
Sure. And it's so funny you said that, the first. We hear that so often, the first, and even through LinkedIn sometimes, I mean, I stay away from politics. I just don't like it. I think what we need to do is all just have good, loving, happy conversations about how we can all do better. But you see on LinkedIn sometimes, oh, the first African-American CEO of this company or this company, and you see some people who actually go back at these posts, not to be nasty, but to say, yeah, this is great, but this is how... It's a great occasion, but it shouldn't have to be a conversation or a celebration. We should be celebrating, like you said, when a company's actually a fully diverse company. That's what we should be celebrating.
When it's the 300th person.
Suddenly there's one gay leader, or suddenly one black leader, suddenly one Hispanic leader. That's not diversity, equity, inclusion.
Right.
That's just, let's make ourselves look good.
Right.
Make the rest of your employees, the rest of your workforce look like what society looks like, and so forth.
And we've had companies, you know, not just companies, you know, that I'm talking about personally, but we've seen on a national level where companies have failed, but they recognize their failures, and then they move forward with plans, and true plans to address those failures. And that's when we can build successful companies. Those are the kind of clients I like working with. That's what I strive for. I'm not looking for someone that's trying to limit what they're doing, but is having an honest discussion when it comes, you know, to servicing everyone.
Yeah, and what we want to see is we don't want a company to get caught in something and then suddenly say, oh, we're going to do better. We want you to be ahead of the game and start saying, hey, look, we recognize our faults now before it gets to a crisis. So we're going to start making these changes.
Well, you know, we have, I talk about customer service training a lot. But, you know, that includes diversity training. You know, understanding different communities, because it's not only about equal but equity, equality and equity.
Excellent, yes.
And so we have to really have those honest conversations. And I love what I do. I left, you know, a job that I could have sat through and retired in 10 years and be totally fine. But I really had a passion for not only equity in education, but equality and equity in other fields, and how we service each other and that service industry, and we recognize who our clients are, who our customers are, and that we can address the differences and embrace it.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much for all that you do. I'd love for you to let the audience know how they can reach out to you, your website, phone number if you want to share, email, social media handles, please.
Everything. Oh, please reach out to us. My name is Jessika. It's Jessika with a K. You can email me at jessika@jlealcommunications.com. Our website, www.jlealcommunications.com. And its last name is Leal. So my phone number, you can call me directly. I would love to talk about a plan. We can evaluate, we can build something just for you. If you're looking for content creation, whether it be for social media, video, we've got you covered. We do the traditional stuff, but we really pride ourselves on the stuff of communications. So my phone number, 832-372-4643. 4018.
Awesome. Well, thank you again so much for being on the show, Jessika. We really appreciate it. And everybody, we'll be right back with our next guest.